What's up, y'all? It's DJ Drewski from Hot 97, Love and Hip Hop New York. The heavy hit is The Movement, and you're watching Behind the Brand with L Jones. You know the vibes.
Hey, Drewski. How are you?
Hey, girl.
So it's been a crazy week, especially for the both of us. We kind of got into it on social media. Not really, but...
You got into it.
Yeah.
I was confused.
He was confused, yes. Let's say that.
But I respect it.
Drewski slid in my DMs. Let's be honest for the viewers. Drewski slid in my
DMs
like, why are you so angry?
I get straight to it. I said, yo, why? I was confused, right? And I know there was so much going on because you're not like everyone's hitting me saying, oh, you GD, you GDK. Mm-hmm. So I'm already like, this shit is stupid, right? So then I'm like, okay, but you came different. Mm-hmm. So it caught my attention. Like, wait, hold on. She might feel some type of way. And now I got to figure out why. So that's when I got straight to I'm like, yo, why are you so angry?
Exactly.
That's
exactly
what
you said. You said, why are you so angry? And I respected that because it wasn't anger. And we talked about this in the DMs. It was more so passion because I feel like as a growing media platform, you know, sometimes credibility gets lost. Right. And I know that you were talking to a lot of different other platforms about who started Brooklyn Drill, rightfully so. But I posted a tweet and I was shouting out 22G's and Chef G for the exact words I used was innovate and ignite. I didn't say originate on purpose because I know how passionate drill fans are, right? Which I know you're feeling right now.
Of course, yeah.
I know they're all coming at you like, oh, you forgetting about this one, you forgetting about that one. So when I initially made the tweet, I was just shouting them out to say like, you know, you guys definitely are the reason why we're so in tune now. Right. That's what I meant. So just to clarify that for anybody that's watching too. Because they definitely came from me. Like I was getting threats. I was getting, we gonna fuck you up, like you fuck out of here.
Right. Oh, I know.
It got crazy, yeah. And I'm just like, this is art, and I get it because it's a sport, you know what I'm saying? But just PSA, you guys got to take it easy because I feel like people like you, and I commend you for this, like you are one of the gatekeepers of the culture. Right. And that's a huge power to have, especially now with social media being so prevalent and things like that. So before I get into giving you your flowers and all that, just explain to me why you felt like the conversation of who originated Brooklyn Drill was so relevant right now.
All right, so it's really a few reasons, and I didn't see a tweet until you actually sent it to me, right? I said, oh, she really did, you know, you bigged them up, and I kind of agree with your tweet. Like personally, I knew like they was doing things in Brooklyn, but as far as Brooklyn Drill, what people consider, I was introduced to it from Tutu and Chef myself. Okay. Right, but I already knew what Bleezy, DOD, they were all doing, and
we gotta talk about that because when you say drill. When you say who originated, Brooklyn Drill, there's two different drills I'm learning.
Right, like, but that's why I brought it up. One, because like people from Brooklyn have their own history of it. Right. And I respect that more than a radio personality like myself or anyone in media that's not from Brooklyn. Number one, I feel like it's not our place to speak on it until we know the facts. So I said, I play all these drill records. I know all the drill artists. I support them from the bottom. Like Pop Smoke was not on the radio until I played Welcome to the Party, and me and Pop already established a relationship before he even got on radio. So it's like, I'm already playing these artists, breaking these artists. I want to know the history for myself too, because people from the outside, they come and say, yo, you know all these artists, you play Pop, you play Fivio. Like who started that shit? And I don't have the right answer. Right. Like, I don't have it, I don't know. So I said, that's a good question because people ask, and what really ignited it, I'm not gonna lie, Tutu sent me a freestyle over Whoopty, right? And I listened to the record, and in the beginning, in his rap, he says something like, I originated all the drill music that y'all make now, or something like that. I was like, oh shit, Tutu, we know he already talks crazy, but I'm like, that's a like bold statement. So that's the part I posted on my Instagram, and I said, Tutu feels like he originated drill music.
Did you know what you were doing when you did that?
I didn't think it was going to go as big as it did.
Because I'm not going to lie, Drewski. Sometimes I'll be feeling like, to keep it a stack, you played dumb, but I feel like you be knowing.
No, it's a great question. So I knew people were going to react to it. I didn't know how big it was going to go. So right when I felt like, okay, it's getting a little, people are taking it out of context and like changing it up to gang shit, I said, yo, let me just take it down. Okay. And we can ask the question the right way. Let me not put Tutu face because it turns into whatever. So I took it down, but then Tutu reposted it. The video of me playing the record.
Is quick.
Yeah, it's super quick. Like he was on it. Mm-hmm. But it was still a valid question. Who created or who started Brooklyn drill? So then, like you said, there's people that feel like Brooklyn drill is what they heard from Pop Smoke, right? He's the biggest Brooklyn drill artist, the biggest sound besides Whoopty that people from out of New York can relate to. Like, oh, that's Brooklyn drill. So I said, okay, well, let's start there. Who created that sound? Okay. Like, Tutu really feels like I'm the first artist from Brooklyn to take a UK beat and rap on it the way we all rap now. So he felt like that. And then Chef replying, I think the reply to it made it big.
Yes.
So like you said, they get equal credit. Because if Tutu did it and Chef never replied, who knows, it probably would have never went as big. So he has a valid point. But then I said, well, that's how you feel. Let's open, like, there's artists that I know that was doing it before you. And then they all had their own opinion and it went all the way back to like 2010.
Yeah. And I just dropped the Founding Fathers of Drill playlist on Apple Music and Spotify just because I feel like there's Chicago drill and then there's UK drill, right? So I feel like the innovation with Chicago drill and why guys like Bambino, who was one of the first artists of that caliber to get a deal, you know, Bleezy, the Curly Sack, all that stuff, it was innovative in that you guys took a style from a different city and brought it to ours, you know what I mean? But then the UK was like, I feel like who would have thought to get a beat from overseas, you know what I'm saying? And think that distinct New York accent, because you know New York, like tri-state people in general, we talk very, you know
got our own language.
Exactly. Basically. So who would have thought that mixed with something from the UK would have flipped? I feel like that's why guys like Pop are, you know, it's kind of like our holy grail, because you took something that was literally foreign, you made it fun, you made it universal, and you kind of brought the city together. Right. So for me, I guess, what do you consider drill? Do you care? No, I don't want to say care because they're going to rip me. Do you?
Of course I care, because I wouldn't have brought it up.
Do you cherish the Brooklyn UK collaboration, or do you?
No, I brought it up because I'm interested and I care about what started before what Tutu feels like he started, right? Okay. So I do feel like the Gang record with Curly and Bambino is in that same genre of music. Not the same beat style, but it's still there. Me personally, I feel like Bobby and Rowdy did kind of open that door, like to the drill scene. And then they get credit. I think everyone like I went on live with kind of credit them for being a young Brooklyn artist. And then like I know Bleezy and D.O.D. and 2605 and what they was doing, so they deserve credit too. You know what I'm saying? Like
everybody
it was credit. Just like time, and they deserve it. I don't see why not. Like they was young Brooklyn artists. Now they wasn't doing the drill. Like I know Bleezy like really raps. Like he's got talent. So even with him, I'm like, you probably know the history, and they feel like they was making diss records. You know, but I'm like, you was more rapping on it, like real hip hop rap.
I think that's where I get into it with a lot of drill fans, is because I feel like, respectfully, everybody doesn't deserve credit. Just because I feel like you have to innovate it. You know what I'm saying? You have to take it to the next level. So we might have to scrap that, because I don't even want to get into all that, because I don't want to argue with nobody. So
there's no arguing. Like that's what I'm trying to tell people. Like when it comes to facts and dates, there's really nothing to argue. Like we couldn't argue because I never seen your tweet, but then you sent me the tweet and it's dated, right? So it's like you feel like, and I'm like, I gotta respect. It's dated. It's there. Like she really did say that. So it's like when it comes to facts and all that, and every time I went live too, I said, yo, we're gonna talk facts, but no gang talk. This has nothing to do with gang shit. We talking about the music.
Do you think that that's possible to differentiate the two? Because I feel like the gang culture in New York is similar to Chicago, where it's like it's so embedded in everything. Right. You know what I mean? So could there ever be a conversation about drill without it turning political?
No, I think it started on the back of like dissing and gang stuff, right? So we know that. Even Who was on the live? He was beefing with Jeezy, or G's Gasoline, and who else?
Who?
They had their own.
There's a lot of them. 8
No.
Bambino.
No.
I'm just naming all drill rappers.
He was on the live. He had the beef with G's, and then he said that's what that he felt started drill as real beef records. Who was it? No, it wasn't. She. Nobody. But he felt like he felt like that it started off the beef, like that's what started drill records. And then they got like a cosign from Chicago artist. So he's like, then that really kind of stamps it. So I'm like, all right, cool, you got a point there too. Like if you feel Chicago was doing it first and then you guys were doing it in Brooklyn and they stamped it, then maybe that it could be considered the beginning of it. But I think it's so many opinions, it's hard to get down to the root of it. But it's something to talk about because now you have artists outside of Brooklyn successful off of drill music. Yeah. I seen today that Uzi is rapping over a drill beat.
Meek Mill is about to come with the pop.
I heard a Pop Smoke, Meek Mill.
Is it good?
And another feature on it.
Everything we thought it would be and more?
Well, anything with pop, I'm biased. So it's like, but I don't even know if I can say too much. Right, but there's another feature on the Meek Mill Pop Smoke record. Even Drake, when he did the record with Sosa and Fivio, like it's so big that it has to be talked about. Like we can't. It started in our backyard, so why not own it? Why not big it up, talk about it? And I think even through the lives, the artist was super respectful. Like even Tutu gave credit to Chef. And I'm like, okay, we might be moving a little forward now. We're not going backwards. Like, but sometimes it takes people like us to open up the door for those questions and for them to talk about it.
And what's your goal with the what's your end goal rather with the conversation? What are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to get everyone kind of on the same page and working together as much as we could, right? So it's like, I know there's some real beef where, people lost some people. So I understand the code. It's like, that might not be able to get fixed, right? But I seen French Montana and Jim Jones when I was like interning, right? Just got in the game, I'm interning. I'm on stage at Webster Hall and Jim is throwing bottles and ice buckets and they beefing and they trying to kill each other. And I watched it all happen, like being young in the game. And I'm like, yo, the whole time I'm like, yo, if they just got together, this shit would be lit. The city would be hot. Like, and it took 15 years for them to, now that they're older, realize, yo, we was beefing for no reason, right? It was stupid. It was over nothing. If we would have just stuck together, we would have probably tripled our net worth. Just being cool, like being able to touch the town and go get money. When I do a concert in New York, I did a Drewski and Friends concert, I put Tutu on the bill and they came and shut them down. Like, you can't have them perform. So it's like, we're losing opportunities for our own artists because of whatever the bullshit is. So my goal is to really try to get everyone as much, you don't gotta be friends. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't gotta be friends, but just play cool, play fair so that we could all exist at the same time and everyone could win. Because if we don't, then you're gonna just, this whole wave will die out. You know what I'm saying?
I really respect that.
Yeah.
What do you say to the people that believe that you're a culture vulture? And you like...
I don't even entertain those questions. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. Like, I've done more for artists than anyone else. You know what I'm saying? For certain artists. So it's like, it's funny. It's like funny to me.
Right.
Because it's like, how you going to question my integrity? You haven't done nothing for the culture. And I've brought you all your favorite artists. Like, especially in New York City. From A Boogie, Lil Tjay, Fivio Foriegn, Pop Smoke. And we could keep going, but it's just like, do I still got to answer that question? Like, no.
Do you wear the title proudly as culture gatekeeper?
No, I don't even.
Do you not think of yourself? Because you're definitely that. You're one of them.
I just feel like.
Humbly. You could be respectful.
No, I really don't. Because I always felt like the job of a DJ is to do that regardless. It's not just to play music.
But you know, like Drewski, as someone in the industry, how things get technical and biased, and you've managed to navigate around that and still support, for the most part, you know what I'm saying, people coming out of the city.
Yeah, well, if it's coming from a good place, like a real place, it's never like clout chasing, or if we talk about something, it's always coming from like a good place. So it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I know people are gonna speak up, but it's all coming, we're not capping, it ain't no fake news. Like stupid little questions could go a long way. So, but I always see the bigger picture. It's like, if Tutu could get on and big up Chef G, that's a start to something that people rather just post memes of the beef, Tutu dissing Chef, instead of trying to
bring them together.
Yeah, like at least I feel good. I can sleep at night knowing that I tried. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it happens or not, I did my part and you know, for what I do to at least try. When y'all just trying to report on the negativity. Like no one posted that clip with Tutu when he bigged up Chef. And I'm like, so no, y'all just care about the beef. I seen so many little 30-second, 1-minute clips, Tutu talking about Brooklyn Drill, he started it, but no one posted this clip.
Give credit to Chef for y'all both coming up at the same time, using the same sound, same sound.
I mean, I can't say I'm gonna give credit.
He didn't want
it's
to.
It's kind of like, yeah, fuck it, y'all say I'm give credit.
And then you know what I'm saying?
That's
but I just don't respect the dissing type shit, because if you
feel like he never dissed, but whatever, but
yeah,
that little 3 seconds of bigging up your op, giving credit, that should have been like Tutu gives credit to Chef G for starting drill. But instead they take all the other parts where they're saying he started it. But I think that goes a long way. But I feel like if no one ever talked about it, we would have never got that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's here, it's proof, like it happened.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's what makes me happy. And that's why out of the whole interview, I only got a minute of that whole interview in my phone, because that's the part that I was excited about. Right. Like, they ain't low key. Like, if we really, and then when Chef got on, he didn't really diss Tutu. Like, so it was like, all right, we might be getting somewhere. You know what I'm saying? They seen a different side of life now that they getting money and they're not in the hood no more. So once you start seeing different things, you start realizing, oh, the world is bigger than just, you know, Brooklyn.
And that would be a great collab, just like on record, like the 2G's and Chef G song would go crazy. But fingers crossed. So in regards to breaking artists, you're definitely one of those DJs that got their ear to the streets. That's undeniable. So what do you look for when it comes to an artist that you feel like, especially as you said, being in the industry from young and seeing artists come and go, what is something that you look for as a DJ when you're breaking artist or playing a record?
Yeah, it comes different ways. So it's either I could hear a good record and the artist has no following, no nothing. I just feel like, oh, they talented, they make good music, they should be heard. And that could be one way. Sometimes you see artists that, for example, like the past 2 weeks, I played 2-6 AR, right? He's one artist out of maybe 25, 30 artists. Say 25 artists I play in an hour. He gets the most traction, the most engagement, the most response. Like for a call and response, if I posted on my social media, you fuck with 26 AR, is he hot? Whatever the question is, his fans, his people respond, and it's real. It's not fake love. It's like, it's real response. So like little things like that, like engagement, I go, wow, like his engagement is good. And when I say his name, people know who he is. Whether you like him or not, you think he's talented. Like at that point, it's like, fuck it. He might not be talented today. I think he's talented, but for people that don't, it's like, if you give them certain looks and opportunities, it makes the artist work harder. So it could come like that. A lot of times, you know, it comes like that. Or, you know, as a DJ, I'm in different boroughs. I know different DJs, and they'll be like, yo, Drewski, you fucking with this person, or you heard this person. I'm like, no, let me do my research. And then I'll do my research. Like with Lil Tjay, I was DJing in the Bronx, and he probably was like 17 at the time. And they got him in the club, and he's in the club, Drewski, you know what I'm saying? And he's like a little kid. And we outside the club, and he's with his 4 or 5 boys, like little badass kids. But I was able to see him, like, you know what I'm saying? And then I said, okay, he's outside. It's 3 a.m. He's 17. Him and his friends is really working. Like his friends is yo, Drewski, TJ's next. So I'm like, yo, send me some music. And then I just ask around, like randomly, like, yo, you heard of Lil Tjay? And then certain people be like, oh, nah, yeah, he's lit. So it's like, okay, his shit ain't on the radio. They don't know him outside the Bronx, but now everyone in the Bronx is bigging him up. You know what I'm saying? Like Chicano's brother be like, yo, tell Drewski, yo, that young boy Lil Tjay. So it's like it comes different ways.
Okay.
And it's like you could feel a certain type of energy. And it, you know, it don't always hit, but a lot of times like it.
But you'll take that chance.
Oh yeah, of course. Someone has to. Like,
right.
I wish as a young DJ that, you know, everyone was like giving me an opportunity. I know what it is to like have to figure it out. And it took one person to like get me in the door. You know, shout out to DJ Cypher Sounds. He gave me that opportunity, got me in the door. What I do with it next is on me. That's why I tell the artists, like, yo, we could give you certain platforms and certain looks. What you do with it is on you. And yeah, so.
What do you think is the downside of being a underground rapper that most rappers don't really consider when they're about to embark on this journey to be the best in the city? Because I know artists come to you with craziness like, Drewski, spin my record, I got you.
Yeah, of course.
They just want the most. Like, what's something you feel artists need to kind of go in the lab and work on a little more before they...
I think like one of the biggest things, a lot of the artists, when they come to us with like records, they're never mixed well, they're not produced well. They're taking beats off of YouTube and not getting them cleared. So in the middle of the song, you hear the producer drop again, and it's like little random, just like
quality
new artist shit. So I usually tell them like, yo, go listen to your favorite artist. Who's your favorite artist? NBA Youngboy, whoever it is. Go listen to the like most recent hit and say, does the quality of my music at least match that? If not, you want your shit to be better, but at least match it. Like,
right.
So I think that's all it is. They, you know, because now they can record in their crib, they in the house, they buy a mic and a computer and they recording. Yeah. So it's like, I think that's the only thing is, if you're gonna come to certain people with certain platforms, like we're playing Drake, I'm playing Future, I'm playing Rihanna on the same station you want me to play your music. Like, it gotta at least kind of match quality wise.
Yeah.
I'm not saying your talent or your bars, but the quality of your music, like, gotta at least
has to be like
some,
radio.
Yeah, like you gotta have some standard. But I think that's the only thing is like they just don't know in the beginning when making the music. But then it goes into like even deeper stuff, like having the right people around you, the right team around you. A lot of artists, you know, they might catch a little buzz, they get excited, and they start making decisions that they regret later on. So it's like, you gotta have the right people around you too.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know you have the new movement. So talk about what that is and how you were able to get your team together. Because I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs that may be tuned in that are trying to, you know, take the same path or a similar path as you.
I think it's just, it was time. It took time to build it. And then just utilizing your relationships, utilizing like your platforms. I knew I'm on Hot 97, the biggest hip hop station in the world. So I said, that's cool, but I don't own it. Like, I don't own Hot 97. I can't make no decisions. Like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I just work for Hot 97. So I got to build something that I own, that I can make decisions for. And it's just like, how can we, you know, use each other? So it's like, well, Hot 97, I got the voice. I can use it to voice myself, but I want to bring the whole new movement idea to them. And I did that, and it's been successful. And so, you know, just little plays, little moves, even, you know, doing TV, doing Love and Hip Hop as for my brand is like, okay, I just need more exposure. And, you know, you get more exposure, and what you do with that is up to you. You can get on the show, you can look goofy, and then people just want to clown you all day, or you can get on the show and actually work, and after the show's done, continue to work. And I think that's what we did, is like, we used a platform, but continue working. After the cameras were off, we were still putting in work. Definitely. And it's just like being consistent. That's really, it's not hard, it's just you gotta have the patience for it.
Okay.
Because if we look at paperwork, like real paperwork, since 2008 is when I officially started at Hot 97. But people just, you know, they hear you. It took maybe, I don't know, 7 years before I was even on the radio. But I was at Hot 97 shooting and editing video, you know, producing the Angie Martinez show. So it's like, it wasn't just overnight type shit, like, oh, Drewski's on. No, it's like we put in work to get there.
What was your inspiration in those moments? Because respectfully, 2008 and now is a really long time.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's paying off. So
right.
when things got dark or you couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, what was kind of like what kept you going?
I don't know. I just always believed in myself. So it's like, I'm not getting the opportunities that I want, but I just believe in myself. I'm like, I see people doing it, and if they can do it, I probably could do it better than them. So that's what like kind of motivated me. It's just like I'm around people that are doing it, that are successful at it, and I know there's a possibility to do it. And I'm a hustler, and I'm talented. So I knew it was just gonna take time. So I never, you get like frustrated, and you're like, fuck, like when I want to move up, I want to do better. But I believed in myself the whole time. It was never like a doubt, never like, yo, I'm about to quit this shit. I don't want to DJ no more. It was like
never.
No, never. I never, because people tell me stories. I interview artists and they'll be like, oh, there was a time where shit was rough, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna quit. I was like, I never had that thought. Like I never said, yo.
Did you always know that what you're doing now is what you wanted to do?
Yes, I always knew I wanted to be a successful DJ. Now in 2021, as a DJ, you got to do multiple stuff. Mm-hmm. So, and you can't just really DJ on the radio no more. Like,
do you believe that?
Yeah, I definitely believe it. I know people that just DJ on the radio, and yeah, you got a cool job, but you're still probably struggling to survive.
Okay.
You can't live the lifestyle you want, or like the lifestyle I want to live. I couldn't just do it if I just was DJing on the radio. I know that. So it's like, you start realizing, I got to do different things. I got to be lit in the digital world. I got to be lit on television. I got to be lit on the radio. So it's like, you just got to figure out how you can maneuver. Not everyone has it, but that's what separates, I feel like, the great people from the people that just want to do it because it looks good.
Right.
Like, it's actual work. And I know you go through that too, because you said sometimes you feel like people just look at you like a model and not taking your business serious.
Right, absolutely.
But I feel personally that hasn't stopped you. Like,
no, not at all. If anything, it motivates me, because I'm really a pit bull in a skirt. So it doesn't even, if anything, I feel like it's humbling, because that's the reality of the world. Like, you're seen before you're heard.
Of
you know
course.
What I'm saying?
Impressions.
So, exactly. Yeah. So I can't be offended that, someone is kind of caught up in my exterior, but once I start talking, I feel like you easily snap out of it, and it's like, oh, she has a brain. Like,
no, I feel like use it to your advantage. You know what I'm saying?
But see, it's crazy, because me and my camera were just talking about this. Like, as women, you kind of know you have the upper hand. Like, you could walk in a room and flirt and get an opportunity. Right. It takes real strong willpower to be like, nah, I'm actually gonna go in here with a plan. But as a man, it's probably like, nah, fuck that. I'm about to just do the easy way. But the easy way sometimes makes it harder for you in the long run, because now when you walk in a room and you actually want to be smart today, niggas is like, nah, do that shit you did when I met you the first time. You know what I mean? And it gets lost. But that's enough about me. So growing up, what were you listening to? I've always wanted to ask you that. Like,
Hot 97.
What artists? I mean, artist wise, like.
Oh, like 50, Dipset.
Okay.
Biggie, like my older brother. When you come to my office, when you walk in, there's a old contract for a theater rental, right from 94, I think, or 95. It was in 1995. Now I was still young. But my dad, who had nothing to do with music, he was in real estate. He just had extra bread, and he said, I'm gonna throw a concert, right? So he asked my older brother, like, who's hot right now? And Biggie, he didn't put out his first album yet. He was still new. So my father booked Biggie Smalls to do a concert in our hometown in Elizabeth.
Okay.
That's where I'm from, Elizabeth, New Jersey. There's a theater called the Ritz Theater. So my dad was like, fuck it, I'm gonna try to flip my money and put on a concert. And Biggie was like the headliner, but he was new. He still didn't have an album out, I don't think. So he wasn't what he would cost, after the album is when the price goes up.
Right.
So it was still expensive. I forgot what it was, but he had a whole concert with Biggie. Busta was there, Lil Kim was there, the whole Junior Mafia was there.
Did you DJ it?
No, I was a baby. I was a kid. I wasn't even allowed to go.
Oh, okay.
But that just go like, because you asked, like, so we was already around that.
Right.
Like, as a kid, like, you know what I'm saying? So I always just listened to hip hop. It was just in the house. Like, my older cousins, that's all we listened to. My brother, like, that's all he listened to. So as a kid, you grow up listening to it.
Can I get a top 5 list? Please.
It's hard because
I know people be like, oh my God.
It's hard, yeah. Of course, it's gonna be Biggie, Jay-Z, Jadakiss, Eminem, and Drake for me.
Okay. That was a good list. I was definitely gonna be judging.
List,
no, that was a good list. If it wasn't a good list, I definitely would have cut the interview short. But that was actually a really good list. It's very rare that I hear like people often forget about Jadakiss. I feel like kind of like look over him. So for you to like mention him, like that was
those were the artists that like made an impact. Like music, I could go back and remember certain times in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like just Jadakiss, I probably seen him at like Flex Car Show, and he was like bigger than life to me. Mm-hmm. So it's like certain moments in my life, I'm listening to these artists, and then I would see them. So it was like those memories, like Jadakiss sticks out. Like Joel Santana, I remember he was hosting at Against All Odds, like signing autographs. Okay. Him and Lauren London for Lot 29 was a clothing brand, but it was in Against All Odds. And I remember like how big Joel's was to me, like me just watching him walk through the mall to go sign off is like, you know what I'm saying, so intrigued. So all those moments like inspire me too. Like now I know them. Like it's so crazy to me. Like I tell Jim still, like I'm in his crib and I'm like, damn Jim, as a kid I would listen to you. Like you guys, I'm not a rapper, but just seeing what you guys were doing for the culture and for hip hop and for New York, and then I could see you at a mall or a car show or whatever. Like it was inspiring for a young kid that wanted to be a DJ. It's like, wow, these are the artists. Like who's gonna be the artist when I'm Funk Flex? And now it's like the Pop Smokes, the Fivio Foriegns. So it's like, oh wow, like it really did
came full circle.
Yeah.
This latest endeavor that you're on, where you're arguably like the DJ Khaled of our city right now, you combining records and putting dudes in the studio together and making it happen. Where did that come from?
I always wanted to do it. One, because my relationship with the artist.
Okay.
Two, I feel like I was saying earlier, like DJs got to do more than just DJ on the radio. So I felt like I always wanted to do it, but I was DJing so much, 6 days a week and doing radio, and then quarantine hit, and now I got all this time. I'm like, now's the time to that's just something I always wanted to do, and we just started going crazy. So it's gonna drop in like the next 3 weeks, probably the whole album. We put out the record with Dream Doll, Molly Brazy, Ruby Rose, but even like artists like that, right? Like it took Ruby to be in Cardi B's video for people to really pay attention to what she was doing.
Yeah.
Right, but we had her on records and doing videos.
Is that a good or a bad thing though?
No, for me it's a good thing, right? Because I feel like it just shows you we're in tune with what's going on.
Yeah.
Like
you're kind of like ahead of the curve.
Way ahead of the curve. Like now, that girl Ruby Rose. Like no, we fucked with Ruby before she was in Cardi B's video. She was lit before that. You just didn't know. So it just kind of lets people know that you can't question that culture vulture shit. We ain't jumping on Ruby's dick now. When you didn't even know who she was, we was helping. Like trying to help, like expose it. So that video's out, that record's out. Ross Wish, Ron Suno, that's out. They didn't even know each other. One's from Brooklyn, one's from the Bronx. If you put two rappers from two different boroughs in the studio at the same time, it's probably not gonna work. And I tried it, and it really didn't work, right? Until later on, when I had to go to them and say, I got a record, who would you want on it? He said, let's throw Ron Suno on it. I'm like, you probably don't even remember. You was at the studio at the same time, and I had you in two different rooms.
Okay.
But it just came full circle again. And we put the record together. We shot the video, and then just from them building a relationship, they're like, we're gonna work on a whole mixtape with them two. And it makes me happy, like, fuck just this one record. Now that they're friends, they're working on music. So that was like good. And then I just dropped the Chef G Sleepy Hollow 2020 Vision. The video's about to drop. Video's ill because we were talking about me as a kid. So I grew up across the street from, we call it Bayway Projects in Elizabeth. And I went back there to shoot the intro to the video. Yeah, nice. So I'm there doing that. So that video is about to drop. And I got records with Coi Leray and Sada Baby. And it's crazy because I posted on my Instagram a snippet.
Crazy
right she's up right now. But on our song, the hook is.
And you were ahead of that too. Sorry.
Yeah, she's from Jersey.
But Coi. You were that. No, I definitely seen.
Yeah. We had her at the Drewski and Friends concert I was talking about.
Yeah, you were definitely on it.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
But I posted it because her hook on the song we got with Sada Baby is very similar to Cardi B's new record. This is it.
And Cardi B's
yeah, that's Sada Baby. But yeah, I just thought it was like coincidence. But everyone uses if it's up, then it's stuck. But
yeah, that's overly coincidental.
But that song that I just played, that's gonna be some like TikTok banger record.
So with that that you're doing, what's the goal for that? Would you ever like stop DJing and really go to DJ Khaled route and like just be like a professional?
Oh no, yeah. I don't think I ever stopped DJing. I feel like Khaled really hasn't even stopped DJing because
he's still DJing.
Like he'll do things that matter. You know what I'm saying? If it's a Coca-Cola Super Bowl party, Khaled's gonna DJ. Yeah. But you know, at that point, you're considered an artist, so you're performing like at that point. But I still want to DJ. The goal is to like become the biggest DJ I can be, so I could take artists along with me. So when we're doing shows and I'm DJing my set, these artists are coming out performing those songs that we're doing in front of big audiences. You know, when you see these EDM and these house DJs, they're artists, you know, and if they do a collab with Marshmello, does a collab with Rowdy Rich, when he does these big shows, he's bringing Rowdy out and he's performing, but Marshmello's still a DJ. That's really so it's like, let's do that for hip hop. Let's create that type of vibe for hip hop. But there's DJs that Ben started that, like shout out to Drama and Don Cannon and back to DJ SNS that you probably don't even know, and Tony Touch and Flex Ben putting out albums. So there's DJs that were doing it, but we're in a digital social media world.
Different time.
Yeah, it's a different time.
So yeah, shout out to Molisa. Mo President's out now.
You were telling me about her.
Yes.
This is the artist you're working with.
Yes, this is the artist I'm managing from Brooklyn. She has 2 records out on Apple Music right now and 2 visuals out too, because you know we work over here.
No, shout out to all the female artists, because I feel not just in New York, but in the industry right now, the females are putting on. Yes. So speaking of which, let me know some females specifically female that artists. Got your eye. Okay, I'm gonna probably forget some people.
Okay.
But it's all respectfully. So the ones I can think of off top, I'm gonna go with Malibu Mitch. Dream Doll. Chinese Kitty.
Okay.
Lola Brooke.
Okay.
K Goddess.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did I mentioned? London Hill, of course. Shout out to London Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, it's more
female.
Oh, I said Malibu, right? Pretty Deej. Mm-hmm. See, there's so many female artists that are going crazy right now.
It's definitely something to prove. I feel like there's a void right now that needs to be filled, and I like that the females are coming just as crazy. When that King of New York title was going around and TJ and everybody, like females want that Queen of NY. You know what I'm saying? Cardi is still reigning.
Oh,
you know
Cardi's Cardi.
Nicki she took her time to be a mom and everything. Now. But you know, females, the young, the new NY, I feel like they definitely hungry for it. So shout out to all the females.
So can we put a list together, because I really wanted to do like a women's mixtape.
Okay.
Like women in New York mixtape.
Yeah, you gotta have Young Devin on there, girls like that.
Right.
Yeah,
All right, so you want to help me put this list together?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Let's do it. Definitely. That'll be fire.
I wanted to do an all drill mixtape.
With girls?
Well, we could mix it up.
Oh, okay.
But I think showcasing like all the women in New York is something like that needs to happen too.
Definitely. Do you have a male list? Okay. I want the guys. I want them.
All right. 26 AR.
Mr. Chicken.
Mr.
Stunner,
Chicken from Jersey.
Busy,
Stunner Gambino.
TJ Porter.
Busy. Oh yeah,
TJ
Porter's like my guy.
Yeah.
Like, I really think he's a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like outside of just being a good artist, he's a good person.
Okay.
So shout out to TJ Porter.
TJ Porter, yeah.
There's an artist named Young Dill.
Okay.
DYL. That's how he spells it. He's going crazy right now. He's from Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Young Dill.
Because I feel like Connecticut gets left out a lot too.
Yeah, super.
Right? So we don't, it's hard because I don't know why, because it's not like they're that far, but I feel like a lot of Connecticut artists get
Is there
left
a famous rapper that came out of Connecticut?
I'm sure there is. I just can't think of off top.
But we gotta show them love. They close to NY.
Shout out to
definitely.
CT.
Shout out to
even when I'm on the radio, I tell people like, yo, if there's an artist in Connecticut, because I'm sure the whole Connecticut don't get Hot 97, but it probably gets it up to like Hartford or some shit. So it's like, there's an artist in Connecticut, get me in tune with them because I'm not really out there that much. So I need to know what's going on, and it's like super hard.
Yeah. They're kind of, unfortunately, they gotta come because they're so out of touch, literally.
Well, I feel like Staten Island feels like that, and then you got Buffalo, but then
But then CJ came and put Staten Island on the map. Shout out to CJ, even though he's going through a lot right now. But
even in Staten Island, there's a lot of artists. You'll be surprised, like that are
drill
up
too?
right now. They do drill, they do regular records. Shout out to my man C Black, like.
Oh yes, I saw him at SOVs.
Yeah, there's a lot of artists. There's an artist named Nizzle got a song with Mr. Swipey right now that's going crazy.
What's his name?
Nizzle.
Nizzle. Okay, I have to tap in with that.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of artists in Staten Island too. And after Tutu made that statement, I think they felt like, hold up.
But I like that. I feel like sometimes feathers need to get ruffled because, we mourned the death of Pop Smoke for so long. We're still mourning that. That was such a huge loss for us. So we need somebody that's going to shake shit up again because literally he really fucked the room. He shook the whole industry up. So we need somebody that's going to, do something a little different. Turn the game on his head real quick. Like I'm getting a little... Maybe
6ix9ine to come back. He just dropped a new record.
Yeah, I saw that, and nah.
It's not it?
I don't, no. I just, he's out. He's not
don't
even,
count.
he doesn't even exist to me, honestly, and I feel like that's how the game treats him, honestly, because,
But we definitely have a lot of talented artists right now.
Yeah.
From the A-Boogies, TJ, I feel like there's still some of the stronger artists from the town.
Of course.
Fivio is still holding. I feel like he's the face of
he put
Brooklyn
it on his
drill.
back.
Yeah. Now Pop passed the torch, so he's definitely running with it.
And he has a certain likeness to him because I feel like he always manages to get next to everyone lit from any city.
That goes back to when I said certain artists. So we were in the studio a lot, and Fivio was always there, right? But I never paid attention to his music. It was more of his personality. He would come in the room and just be a character, like, and I'm like, yo, this kid's a star, but I never heard his music. Like, I don't know, he don't want to do Instagram comedy. Like, I knew that wasn't his thing. And then once the artist was playing me his music, like, yo, that's Fivio. I'm like, oh shit, that's Fivio. And then I got in tune with the music, but his personality is big.
I feel like that's how he got the Drake record.
Yeah, like people just fuck with him. Right. Like, I fuck with Favi. And even Sosa has that same type of energy, like, and seeing them around each other and all of them, that, it was a great vibe. Like,
definitely.
So I think if we can just have artists, creating together and keeping that fun, good energy for the young guys, it'll definitely really, really, because I feel like we're good. We're in a good place. But there's no reason why we can't get Chef and Tutu on a record. There's no reason why Cardi and TJ and A-Boogie and J.I., like, they're not all working together. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that would go crazy for the Bronx.
It would.
If you had all these guys. But yeah, I'm just excited, and I'm about to drop this project. All the names we named are on the project. Shout out to Jay Critch, all these artists that are working. Like, you're gonna hear some records that maybe you probably like never heard them on. Like the 2020 Vision is not a drill song. I wanted to take Chef and Sleepy out of their element and put them on something different so that you can hear the versatility in these artists. And I think we did that. And the shit is streaming like crazy. We didn't even drop a video yet.
Nice. Shout out to you, Drewski.
We working, and I appreciate you
no problem.
putting out your tweet before I started my Who started
I just wanted my credit, man. I just wanted my credit. Niggas be trying to shut me up. Like, just go sit in the corner. Like, no, I have an opinion. So, but no, shout out to you because you amplified the discussion because that's why I feel like one hand washes the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, I made the tweet, but you got the conversation started for real. Like, niggas was arguing in the comments. They wasn't even trying to hear.
We're not done yet. It's not over. I spoke to Fivio yesterday. He said, fuck alive. He wants to come pull up and sit down.
Really?
So we'll see. We'll see. You know, we'll see where it goes.
Because he was definitely outside when I was doing my research again. Like, I saw records with him from 2014 when he was doing his Chief Keef shit. And I was like, that's Fivio. Oh my God. He doesn't even look the same. He's like so young. So it's like, he definitely has his longevity and deserves his flowers. And I'd love to hear. I'm very interested to hear what he'd have to say.
I am too.
I'm very interested.